I'll definitely be the first to admit that self-confidence is not an easy thing to develop. But as I pursued it more, I started to realize that my looking outward into the world on how to solve my problems, either on YouTube or from other people, was not the answer. And realistically, I had to look within myself, more specifically in here. The reality of the matter is that self-confidence is built up by doing hard things. If we're constantly chickening out on the mental promises we make ourselves, indulging in instant gratification, we will not get anywhere. It will degrade our self-confidence every single time. A quote that I love that I read recently is, "How you do anything is how you do everything." It really speaks to that essence of doing hard things and the grit of doing the things that you don't want to do and doing it with precision. Thinking back to a couple of years ago, before I did all this personal development stuff on YouTube, I remember constantly having this vision in my mind of becoming this crazy version of Jay that would go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week. But I constantly did that. I would go to the gym for 2 days, and the next day I would be a little bit tired and skip the gym, even though I told myself I would go 5 days that week. In that same week, I would tell myself that I would be doing 1 hour of productive work after I get home from school. And most of the time, it was 1 or 2 days, if that, and the rest of the week I spent watching Netflix and just being lazy. What I realized very quickly is that I started to feel like shit. When I didn't follow through on my mental plan, I didn't even write this stuff down. It was just something on a Sunday evening I would tell myself, okay, this week we're gonna get it done. 5 workouts, work 1 hour a day, that's what we're gonna do. And after 2 days, it would fall apart. And that would shit on my self-confidence. It would eat me alive. It really had a large impact on how I thought about myself, and even self-worth was intertwined with that. So I slowly started to realize then that following through on our mental promises is the single most important key to developing our self-confidence. Once I started telling myself, first of all, more realistic goals, because that is also the key, being realistic with yourself, what you're capable of, but also pushing yourself a little bit, and then following through day after day with what you promised yourself. This builds you up like nothing else can. Not only that, but when I followed through day after day and came home and thought to myself, okay, I did it again, I felt so good. It was this high that I was on, and I felt so productive and like I was moving forward. It was actually this feeling that initially sparked the idea for this YouTube channel and all the content I create. I wanted to get back to that feeling. So if you wake up one morning and it's really early, you're groggy, you don't want to go to the gym, but you promised yourself you would. If you do it, you will come home, you will go to work and be a completely different person than the person that hit snooze and went back to bed. It is night and day, the difference. It's unbelievable. If you can just get through that and listen to your inner voice, what you told yourself, and just get it done, you'll have so much self-respect and self-worth. And it builds day after day, and you keep building on it every single time you do it. Coupled with this is slowly, over time, challenging yourself. I found that my workouts were feeling kind of easy after a while. I wasn't really pushing myself. So I started following a program. I started implementing cardio at the end of my workouts. I started doing core, which I hate doing, by the way. And I think most of you could probably relate to that. So if you're somebody who enjoys skipping leg day because you don't like hitting legs, you sweat too much, it's too much work, hit legs. Hit legs more than you hit other things, for the first bit at least. Get used to that strain, that hard feeling of doing something difficult, and you'll see that after those workouts is when you feel the most proud of yourself. And by really challenging yourself, really pushing yourself over time, you'll start to see what you're capable of. And if you're somebody like me who's a little bit wishy-washy on what you think you can accomplish, this is game-changing, because you start to see if you really put your mind to something, even as simple as working out, it can bleed into other areas of your life, into business, into your side hustles. And you'll have this newfound confidence that you can accomplish whatever you want if you put your mind to it, if you have that mental fortitude to go and do that thing It'll change how you think. And for those of you thinking that, oh, I don't want to do it because I have to do so much. No, no, no. It's not about that. It's about just doing it and being there, showing up. I don't give a shit how you perform. If you go to the gym at 5 a.m. and you do one set of curls and go home, that's completely fine. You still went to the gym. You did an exercise. You got your ass out of bed and you made it to the gym. That is the win. Although over time you don't want to just be doing one exercise, it's that idea that building that habit that you're going to stick with in the long term. That's really important here. So by showing up, you're showing yourself, okay, I can listen to my mental state, what I promise myself. And to this day, if I say I'm going to work out 5 days a week and I'm going to push myself in the gym and I do that, I am on top of the world. I feel incredible. I've followed through on what I said. I feel great. I look great. Life is just wonderful if you feel that way. Needless to say, self-confidence isn't something that's external. It's not something that's projected. It's 100% built in your mind. You have to push yourself and listen to that mental voice and follow through. That's the only way you can build self-confidence. Even on those most difficult days, those are questionably the most important. Those difficult days are the ones that define you. They're the ones where you don't want to go for that workout. You're tired after work and you don't want to work on that side hustle. Those are the days that you have to do it. I know it sounds hard, and it definitely is. You have to push through that initial resistance and get to it. But once you do, I've never, ever had a bad workout after forcing myself to do something. Sure, I might be tired, but I come back home knowing that I did something that I didn't want to do, and that helps me build character, build grit, and of course, self-confidence in myself.